Okay, so this is day 2 of Mishlei Chaf Gimel Vav through Ches, which is Al Tilcham Es Lechem Ra'ayin Al Tisav L'Mad Mosav. Do not eat the bread of the miser or the stingy person, and do not lust for his delicacies. Did I record? Yeah, I am recording. Okay. Ki Kamo Sha'ar Benafsho Kenhu. Okay, that's the ambiguous phrase here. For as he is Sha'ar Benafsho, thus he is. Okay. We said because as he reckoned in his soul, or as he thought in his soul, so he is. Eat and drink, he'll tell you. But his heart is not with you. Pitcha achalta tekena. The bread that you ate, or the morsel of bread that you ate, you will vomit. The shichata devarecha hanaimim, and your pleasant words you will have destroyed or wasted. Okay, so our questions were: what is the scenario here? Right. 2, what are the mat'amim and what is the relationship to the lechem? Can't you kal v'chomer them say kal v'chomer matam mosav? Like if you shouldn't eat from the bread, then certainly you shouldn't eat from the delicacies. 3, what does it mean to sha'ar benafsho? What does that even mean? How do we read that half of the pasuk? 4, if he's a miser whose heart is not with you, why is he telling you? What is he getting at? 5, what is the nimshal of vomiting the bread that you ate? What causes you to vomit? Why use a mashal at all? 6, what are these derech hanaimim? Why did you say them? The pasuk doesn't mention you talking. 7, what is this lechem ra'ayin? Why is the bread referred to as pita in the pasuk ches if that's not just a poetic thing? 8, how do you do pesukim zayin through ches explain vav? What is the reasoning? General question: how is this different from 23 1 through 3? So I just want to show you the shadal. I was just saying before I recorded that Shadal's commentary on Mishlei. I like Shadal in general, but I think his commentary on Mishlei was not meant to be published because it's very short, very inconsistent in terms of what he comments on. And he'll say stuff like this. Al tzilchan, do not eat the bread. Kan medaber bara'ayin, here it's talking about a stingy person. V'lo b'moshel, k'mo l'mala aleph through gimel, not a ruler like it says above. Pesukim krovim, the pesukim are close. V'inyanehem ruchokim ma'od, but their ideas are very far apart. Thanks, Shadal. So he doesn't like.
He gives us direction.
He gives us a direction, right? But he's not like spelling out the ideas, But so I think that's funny. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be. Igritur blend. Chironemus. Okay, whatever. That's going to be in pesukim later. Okay, so yesterday we did the Metzudas David, which I want to reread, and then that's the wrong file. That's the wrong one, Tzedakah, which I was preparing this morning. Okay, Metzudas David. No, not. What am I doing? Mishlei. I'm just looking for a file. Metzudas David. 23, first half. Okay. Okay. He said, Al tilcham, al tochal lechem, don't eat bread, ulatosefes beer, pirish v'amar es lechem. Okay, fine. So that didn't give us anything. Zayin, kamo sha'ar, kamo shemashar b'atmo davar. Just as you muse or fantasize or daydream about something, she'im bezeshu mamash, which has no substance, no reality. Ki'im dimion u'machshav ba'am, it's just imaginations and thoughts. So too this guy who's feeding you, even though he tells you eat and drink, his heart is not with you, and he doesn't want you to eat in truth. He doesn't really want you to eat. And there's no substance in his words. The bread he gave you that you ate, sofa, you ultimately vomit it from your body because he will look at you with a stingy eye while you're eating. You will destroy or ruin your pleasant words. That you spoke gently or nicely with him, and you presumed good of him. I still don't know exactly how to read that. Good and graciousness for the eating. I think, in other words, you assumed that he was being kind to you, by giving you food. But in retrospect, it was for nothing. Because you're going to vomit the food. Okay, so I came up with a term on the way here this morning for this type of pasuk. I want to call it a Mishleic simulation pasuk. Okay, which many pesukim are giving you specific ideas, and they are about certain scenarios, but they're not spelling out an entire vignette. this pasuk is like giving you a Mishleic real world scenario, and there are several like ideas and angles that you can like think about it with. Okay, so let me review what we did yesterday and show you what I mean. So I think there's a micro idea here and a macro idea. The micro idea is if you know that this guy is a miser, which means that he does not like to spend money and he is begrudging, and what he does then is begrudging. So if there's a situation where you find him like giving you food, okay, even delicacies, okay, which might lead you to believe, oh, he is willing to spend money. And even if he tells you eat and drink, okay, you should not believe his actions, you should believe his character that you know to be true. Okay. Don't think to yourself, oh, usually he's a miser, but this time he really wants me to eat. Or usually he's miser, but he's turned over a new leaf, you know, or like usually he's miser, but like, you know, I have some sort of special relationship with him, you know, don't believe that. And he's giving you a tool to use to like see through this falsehood, which is in the same way that you can daydream about like making a lavish banquet for people, but it has no reality in your mind. So too, this guy actually is providing stuff for you, but it has no reality in his mind. And what's going to happen? Why shouldn't you do this? Because there's a hidden cost. The hidden cost is that he's going to be resenting you the whole time. And that is going to make you either indebted to him, or it's going to make him want to take revenge on you, which sounds insane because he's giving you stuff, but he's viewing it as though you are like making him lose money, and he's going to take it out on you somehow, you know, like, you know, and you think that you are like gracing him with your presence, or you are like, you know, like talking to him nicely or whatever, you're cultivating camaraderie. It's going to be undermined by the resentment and the undercurrent of stinginess, you know, stingy bad feelings that the guy has. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that. I just wanted to.
Oh, sorry, just one more point. Yeah. Sorry, that was the micro point. And then the macro point is just like this is true for evaluating when actions contradict the character that you know to be true. In a miser, this should apply to all cases. So if a person is typically very short-tempered and they seem to one day be very patient with you, don't get taken in by that, you know? Or if someone is very, you know, typically like very haughty and arrogant, and then one day, I mean, I'll give you an example of this. I mean, this is not just one example, this happens all the time, but you have students who like are, you know, in high school who are like, who totally are like either don't care about the class, or like they misbehave a lot, or like they're disrespectful. And then one day they'll come to, Rabbi Shneewis, I love your class. Your class is the best class. I immediately think, okay, what are they trying to get out of me? You know, so like it's you don't just suddenly like turn over a leaf like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I like the idea because as humans we tend to like feel like we're indebted to the guy.
Yeah.
Like partake into his. So what if you have people who just like honestly like they don't really care what you know, like what he does to him, like what the miser would do to him, like after the fact, like the reality is like I'm just gonna take it as something, like you give it to me, and that's it. Like, you know, like I'm gonna live my life for the rest of. I mean, like even though like the miser may try to like attack him in the future or like whatever it is, like all right. So like, what happens in that situation? Like,
okay, so
I'm wondering, like,
yeah,
is that like a good thing? Like, is it how you relate to the guy? Like, all right, the guy's just a crazy guy. Like, eventually everything will be known. So like,
okay, so I'm gonna quote you my dad's favorite pasuk. Okay, right. So I think I have an article about this somewhere. Do you know?
You mentioned it.
I have mentioned it. Yeah. So I just forgot the lashon.
I think you did have people like that also.
Yeah. Pagosh. This is Mishlei 17:12. Pagosh dov shakul beish v'al kasil bi'valta. It's a little bit of a tough language. Better to encounter a bear that has been deprived of her cubs than to encounter a man foolish than for man to encounter a fool in his foolishness. Okay, and the Mefarshim there say that it's a fool in his foolish anger. Okay, because it's compared to the bear. So oh, you want actually this might be one that I have written up in summary form. Yeah, did I put it here? Let's see.
You definitely have an article about this.
I have it on what?
You have an article about this.
I haven't. Oh, I do have an article. Okay, fine. So then I'll look at the article. That would probably be the more final version.
I saw that. It's a good article.
Yeah.
As a circumcision mutilation.
conflict.
Well, the meat of conflict was what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. So unless I have it on the old blog, let's see.
No, it's on the
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna check anyway. Mishlei 17:2. 17:2. No. Okay, so the idea, I'll just say the idea. The idea is that go back to the pasuk. So the idea is that why is the bear the puzzle's not up anymore. The bear is so bears are very dangerous, especially when you get between a bear and its cubs, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that compared to the bear, the fool is way more dangerous because the bear has a limited range of harm that it can do. Okay, which is that if you actually like physically like escape from the bear is not going to catch a plane and then like go to your hometown and then like like stalk you or whatever, right? So whereas the fool has
also more predictable.
Oh, that's a separate thing. Yeah. So the range is one. Okay. You can fill in after if I miss anything, because this is a list pasuk, right? So, so the bear has a limited range. The fool's range is near unlimited. Okay. Two, the bear, and I don't know if this is actually anyone know what the scientific term for bear?
Yeah, Ursa.
Okay, so I don't know if this is ursologically true. Okay, but the bear will not hold a grudge for a long period of time, but a fool can hold a grudge for decades. Okay. Three, a bear acts in certain predictable ways, right? And if you know how to avoid those ways, then you can counteract them. A seal has many different ways in which he could take revenge. A bear is not going to recruit other bears to come in but a fool can get other people to take revenge on you. A bear is going to be acting based on instinct, which is going to be like geared towards a like practical purpose, so to speak, like in terms of the bear views you as a threat, so it's going to kill you. The fool, his ego is wounded and his ego is going to give rise to crazy like vengeance. Mordechai didn't stand up for Haman, and if Mordechai said, I don't care what this idiot does, next moment genocide. So the thing is don't underestimate what a fool will do in his anger, because fools can do a lot in their anger. So that's what I would say to that.
Is a fool?
Well, the miser is I mean, I don't know if he fits squarely into a Mishlei type of fool, but
human nature.
Yeah, in other words, it could easily be a fool because he has a completely distorted relationship with money. That's what I would say.
So in that pasuk,
in the bear pasuk,
pasuk. The reason the pasuk is talking about a fool is like as opposed to a chacham who will think about what actually makes sense as a response.
Right.
And so anyone who's responding, who's reacting to it out of emotion rather than like their intellect is going to fall into that.
That is true, but actually I think it's even worse than that, which is that in Rambam in Hilchos Deos chapter 2, then when he's talking about how you should avoid anger at all costs, he says anger is one of them, and he says that kol hakois kilo v'davadazara of Amru Shekolakois im Chachamhu Chachmaso Mistalekas Mimeno Im Navihu Nevuasu Mistalekas Mimeno. Anger causes your Chachma to depart. So the guy who's angry at you for eating his food, even if he's not a Mishleic fool in general, this is going to bring up anger and he can act in anger.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'd say. Okay.
What happens when a smart person gets angry?
His Chacham, Im Chachamhu Chachmaso Mistalekas Mimeno Im Navihu. Yeah, I was wondering. We asked that question. Why does he have to say Navi? You say Chacham Kal V'chomer Navi. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. So I think that is the idea from Metzudas David. We good with that? Okay. And also we just mentioned with the end that you're wasting your good words, meaning that you're not going to develop, you're not going to strengthen the relationship, and you're vomiting, which means it's going to end up being unpleasant. You're not going to get anything from it. Factually speaking, you're going to get the nutrition and the experience of having eaten, but like it's going to basically be like you incurred a cost that's not worth it. Okay, so let's do Rabbeinu Yonah, who I haven't read yet, and then I want to do the Meiri for his derech nistar. Okay. So Rabbeinu Yonah says on Vav, Al tilchem es lechem ra'ayin, hatam yifarsh pesukim abayim achar. Because he says, see the pesukim later on. Okay, next, Zion. Ki kmo she'ar b'nafsho kenhu. Oh, did you? Yeah, you're back. Okay. Ki kmo she'ar b'nafsho kenhu. Inyan kmo ka'asher. Okay, so ka'asher she'ar b'nafsho kenhu. Ukmo ha'shachar Allah. Okay, so he's saying when he is mashar b'nafsho, and sha'ar is milashon mea sha'arim v'inyan ha'omid v'hashir. When he estimates in his soul. Okay, so what does that mean? The explanation. Kashir shar v'amad b'nafsho kenhu kamoni. When he estimates in his soul, kenhu, like he is like me. I think, okay, let's see. Kashir shar v'amad tivacha umidosecha kitiva umidaso. When he, this miser, projects onto you his own personality and nature, okay, when he estimates that you are just like he is, Az yomer lecha echol sheseh. Then he'll tell you, eat and drink. Oh, that's a clever interpretation. In other words, yeah. There's where did I read this? There is a custom in Iran. We got to ask Ariel Tucker about this. It has some Persian name that it's a type of thing that you do when you have a guest. You offer them food and as politeness, but then they're supposed to decline it. You know, so it's kind of like almost like doing like a charade of like politeness, and and then the more you offer, the more they're supposed to decline. So it's just like this thing, you know. So it reminds me of this is that but here he's not doing it intentionally. He thinks to himself, well, if someone, you know, if someone offered me food, he probably is not really offering it, you know. So I'm going to offer food to this guy, and of course he's going to decline it. Okay.
It's, by the way,
yeah,
it's true. I mean, there's a curb your enthusiasm about this. Like, look, I offered it, but it's just the code.
Okay, yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. So that is right. Yeah. This is yeah. Okay. Ken say v'libo ba'ima. His heart is not with you. V'kavesh lo t'kabel t'varav. He will hope that you're not going to accept his words, his offer. V'shelo tishma elav, and you won't listen to him. Ki amar b'libo she'ata tsar ayin kamo. He'll say in his heart that you're stingy just like he is. V'darkacha lomar la'anashim echol shesei v'libo ba'ima. And not only that, he's going to think that you make the same types of offers to people, right? That you also offer people to eat and drink, and your heart is not with them. V'choshev ki gam ata tishar oso knafshecha uchumidosecha. And he will think that you estimate in your soul that he is like, he's basically projecting his own midos onto you, and he's projecting his own way of thinking onto you, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I think he doesn't think he's stingy. He probably just thinks he's being financially reasonable.
Yeah, he's being frugal. yeah, so, right.
You know,
he's being reasonable.
Yeah, he's not like, oh, everyone else is miserly too. He's
right.
Like other people have realistic relationships
exactly.
with people's money.
Yeah.
Know, like,
V'teda ki eno omer lach echol sheseh al das shetishma alav. You know that he's not telling you to eat and drink because you're going to listen. Valzos hu somech umakaviv omer ulai shelo tishma lasos gain. Okay, so that's what the guy's banking on. Yeah.
What I'm curious though about is if this guy was at a free meal, wouldn't he enjoy all the delicacies?
It's a good question, right? I mean, it sounds like Rabbeinu Yonah is saying that he wouldn't do that because he would assume that the other person is, unless he's a hypocrite, right? Unless it could be that he's a hypocrite, that when he's making the offer, that's when he projects everything onto you. But when you actually make the offer to him, then he's not going to project that, you know, which is totally I wouldn't put it past people to compartmentalize like that. Yeah, I heard that the first time. Yeah.
I'm trying to have an example where this exact type of thing happened.
Yeah.
Not worth waiting.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So then
So it seems like at this point he's saying that
okay. We'll come back to Pitra chalta tekena, the bread that you eat, you will vomit.
I have an example.
Okay.
It's someone who will offer things that offer to do things that are way over the top for people.
Yeah.
Really nice things that they will do if the person does it, but they're not they're offering things that are more than what they are comfortable doing.
Right. Yeah. I think a common example of this, and here you really do have to be careful. If you say, in any case, let me know if there's anything I can do for you, right? So taken at face value in a contract. Let me know if there's anything I'm offering to do anything for you, right? That's not what most people actually think, right? But people will take that and they'll put it into specific, like they'll make commitments to specific types of help without realizing that they're actually committing, because they think that the other person is going to know that they're just doing it as a nicety,
And they may not even be intentional too.
Yeah, but they might totally. I mean, this guy doesn't seem to be aware of the fact that he's projecting and not. Yeah,
Like
I mean, actually, Rabbeinu Yonah is saying he is aware, but I don't think he's aware that he's projecting. He's aware of what he's saying, but like he doesn't realize that he's making this mistake of just assuming everyone is like him.
Yeah, I have a personal example. Like someone asked me, "Can you jump into the airport?" I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking JFK.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then, like that morning, I was like, "Yeah, can you take me? You're still up for taking me to LaGuardia."
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
I think I remember this instance.
No?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. What do you say?
Like in his mind, the same kind of is, let me know if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, right.
Because no one, like, there's understanding. No one takes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, actually, can you drive me to LaGuardia?
Yeah.
You said that there was
Right.
nothing you can do for me.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how he rounds it out. When you sit to eat with him, tire, you will see as panav. You'll see his face. And he doesn't look happy, right? And you'll see that his heart is not with you. And your bread, he is eating. Your bread, you will eat it with pain. That's a reference to Adam Harishon, right? Below titchon osa. Oh wow, he's going physiologically. Your stomach will not digest. It'll give you indigestion, right? He's saying your stomach will not digest it properly, and you're going to vomit it.
And that happens, and like when you're like in like pressure situations.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Right. When you're, if you're either, let's say, like nervous about a date, or if you're eating with your boss or whatever, there's psychosomatic things are real. That's why they call them psychosomatic, not just psycho, right? That they actually affect your body. The shichata derech haniim. I can never say that. You will waste your nice words. Im ish chachamata b'Torah. Well, okay, where's it going with this? If you are a wise man in Torah, or b'chol chachma, or b'derech eretz, either in Torah, chachma, or derech eretz, v'tadaber al shulchano b'divrei das v'chachma, and you're speaking, you speak words of das and chachma on your table. The tashkis derech hanimim, your words will be destroyed or wasted. Ki yu alav lamasa, they will be a burden for you. Ki libo yi'atzev b'kirbo al davar achalcha imo, because your heart will be pained in your innards. On the fact that you ate with him. Amr b'musarim, and the sages of Musar say, Al tadaber im ish asher na'alot tsar. Don't speak with a man whose shoe is narrow. That's got to be an idiom.
You used tsar differently earlier in derech.
Yeah, well, I thought he used tsar to mean narrow, like min hametzar. I think we talked about merchav, right? Tsar versus merchav. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What did he say in the beginning, like that for the top of the paragraph? I'm sorry, the top of that.
He's saying that if you're saying words of Torah at this meal, then it's going to be a burden to you, because you're going to be like having all this anxiety about the meal. I think what he's trying to get, I think he's trying to answer the question of what is derech ni'imim. I don't know why he doesn't want to say it's the words that you would say in your conversation with him. He's trying to say it's like words of Torah, like derech noam type things. Yeah.
I think this is something that you would be really enjoying talking about this.
Right.
But you can't like you can't enjoy it.
Yeah. Right. Didn't someone say something like this yesterday on the other side, like that you're going to be talking up like this business proposal or something like that? Was it you? Someone, yeah. I feel like there was an example.
I was saying the guy's going to be talking about like a business proposal.
The guest or the host.
No, I think I was talking about the host.
The host, okay, yeah.
I was like how we like work together or something.
Yeah. So I think this is close to that in the sense that you're going to come prepared with all this like great stuff to say, but we were saying that it's going to be wasted because he's going to hold this against you. Here he's saying because you're so like your stomach is so upset and you've got this like glare at you, you're not going to be able to like actually like present what you want to present. Yeah.
You're talking about like the physical problem.
Yeah, he's talking physical problem. Your stomach will not digest the food and you will vomit it. Now I think that is hyperbole. It doesn't mean that you're going to like literally vomit it on the table, but it means that it's going to make you sick.
But how does that have to do with like eating the bread and.
He's giving you the stink eye the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's glaring at you, and you could feel the bad vibes, and that's going to make you
Yeah, but it's not
Miser,
possible.
though,
It's gonna be a-
because the miser doesn't want you to eat the food, and he resents you for the fact that you're eating it
But how do you know he doesn't want you to eat the food?
because of the pasuk.
You're gonna
Or no, sorry, not even because of the pasuk. You're going to see him glaring at you in an angry way. Yeah.
You already know. Like, you know.
You're going to see it. He's going to be. Have you ever eaten with someone who is like angry at you, like, or who's at the table who's angry at you, or maybe you're just oblivious? Yeah. It's very uncomfortable. Yeah, right.
Have you? I've never.
Yeah, I taught. I mean, let's say not eating. I've taught in a girls' school. Okay, right. There's lots of drama. Okay, and when a high school girl is holding a grudge against the teacher, you feel the bad vibes, and it like is off-putting, and like you can't think clearly because they're looking at you with murderous eyes. You know? Yeah.
I think the last thing you're just saying also.
Yeah.
That I think that even like the nice end for the ideas you're going to say.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable saying them because of this person,
Yeah.
you're going to, even if you do say them, they're going to be now distorted and not presented properly because you're going to.
That's also true, right? It's going to mess up your delivery, right?
Also, like in part of the lashon of Vishi
Yeah.
of like I was thinking with Moshe after with God speaking to Moshe after the eagle, like Kishi Kain Amata.
Yeah.
There was like some sort of like they were good, and like something got
They went
wrong and
bad.
distorted.
Yeah.
Something went bad in
Yeah.
a similar way.
Yeah.
Similar feeling.
Go to seed. Yeah. Yeah. Ezra.
So it looks like this muster at the end of
Yeah.
has to do with him just being in general discomfort, even if it's not towards you. So if
That's
let's
also
say another
true,
guest
right.
is eating.
That's a
you
good
can also,
point.
Like, notice, like,
Right.
also not-
That's a good point. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So I feel like in life you're gonna like be in these situations. So how do you overcome this? Like meaning like you know like you have to be in those meetings sometimes, or like you have to
Right.
have this lunch, and like you know what do
Right.
you do in that situation?
Right.
Like, you're just tough. Is there a way you can just like be numb to it? do you build
Well,
that?
being numb to it is not going to help the other guy, right? I mean, it's going to help you not vomiting,
Right.
but
Yeah,
it's
no,
not. The guy's still going to like all the stuff we said before is still going
Well,
to.
you're saying if you're the miser.
No, I think he's saying if
No, I'm saying
you're the
the
guest.
miser,
Yeah.
how do you not throw up?
Yeah, how do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think something that was just yesterday is saying, oh, instead of going for a meal, let's go out for coffee.
Right. Find an alternative way
Yeah.
to network that's not going to involve awakening his miserliness. But if you do happen to find yourself there, so the Metzudas David's problem, you're not going to be able to get around there,
Yeah.
right? Unless you just don't partake of the stuff,
Yeah.
which you can do, right? I mean, that's what Rabbeinu Yonah would say also. Like, and you could say that, right? Like you could say like
oh, I'm not hungry
right,
now.
or
I had a late lunch.
yeah, I had late lunch, or like I'm I'm a little my acid reflux is acting up, like I can't. I don't have acid reflux, but I feel like all the people who do, it's the most convenient. It covers everything. Like, oh, I can't go to school today because of acid reflux. Like I can't give a speech in public speaking class for Rabbi Shnei because of acid reflux. I can't take the test today because of acid reflux. You know, and I'm not minimizing the problem. I'm just saying like you can use this excuse. You know, yeah. Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
But so this guy.
Yeah, right. So now you're asking, can you be numb to the point where you can like not be affected by his glare? Maybe, you know, it's just that there are lots of other problems that are building here, which is going back to my first point, which is that this is a Mishlei simulation where there's lots of Mishlei factors going on here. And so even if you could avoid the vomiting, then it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to avoid like the ill will.
But like
Yeah.
to your point about thinking clearly when there are people looking at you with like
Yeah.
evil eye.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I saw like I think it was Ted Cruz, you know, at the View.
Okay.
You know, like that was
That would be evil eye.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
everyone was like they were like attacking, but
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
so level-headed. He
Yeah.
was still asking questions,
Yeah.
even though when people were yelling at him.
Right. So there definitely
how do you do that?
there definitely are ways to do that. I think that's going to be taken up in other pesukim, which yeah, I know I've written stuff about that because I remember the very first clip I ever saw of Jordan Peterson,
Which one was it?
the one where the woman is like going all like crazy like in the interview, like trying to attack him, and he's totally being civil and calm and like Canadian, you know, so I wrote a post on that. I can see if I can find it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I want to do the Meiri now. Okay. So I think this is a good idea, right? Oh, sorry. We didn't bring home the main idea. The main idea is don't fall into this trap of either doing what the miser does or failing to recognize that this is a human tendency. In other words, people project their own character onto others, right? So be aware when you're doing that. Okay, not everyone operates the same way that you do, and be aware that other people are going to do that with you, and take the proper precautions. Again, that's the macro point. The micro point is about how to deal with this particular miser, but I think that's a good macro point.
That's like the example here is, like think about how the miser would approach the situation from the other side.
Yeah.
Which is, he might feel like, oh, this is just a nice thing, but he doesn't really want to give it.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
What
This reminds me of also is there's the other pasuk with which this one I know I've written one about, but I'm not going to search for Kechometz l'shinayim. Oh, that says l'shanim. Maybe it'll still give me. Yeah, this is in 10:26. We did this. We must have done this in we did this in Monday night. Kechometz l'shinayim u'ke'ashen le'ina. Oh, no, that's not the one. Hamas Shoseh. Yeah, Mikatze Raglaim Hamas Shoseh Shalech Devarim Biad Ksiel. Like a person who cuts off his own feet and drinks rancor. So is one who sends words through a fool. Okay, so the idea there. So it's saying if you send stuff through a fool, he's not going to do he's not going to complete your shlichus. That's the cutting off your legs, and he's going to make you really upset. You're going to drink resentment because you're going to resent him or the fact that you sent him. So the question is, why would you send stuff through a ksiel if you know that this guy's a fool? So we said that the mistake is you view the fool as an extension of yourself, and you project yourself onto the fool, and you picture yourself, well, if I had this mission, this is what I would do, and you completely ignore the character of the fool, and I gave the example I gave is the very first time that I was in Hafter that I got to the classroom with my 10th grade boys class, and the door was locked, and I sent one of them to go get a custodian, only realizing after I sent him, of course, he's going to just delay and wander the school for 5 minutes and then come back and say that he couldn't find a custodian to open the door so we could find classes. So I was like, what was I thinking? I was thinking, I was just totally projecting my own emotions onto him, So I think a similar dynamic occurs here, which is that since this guy is offering you food, you view him as an extension of yourself or as a servant of you, and you completely like displace his own values with your own personality and values, and that's a bad mistake. Okay, yeah.
So you're saying it's happening on both fronts.
Yeah.
The miser is projecting onto you, and you're projecting on the
exactly. Yeah. Okay, the difference is the idea, so you're to blame. Okay, Meiri. Meiri combines the three, of course, like everyone does. He says, "Hanigle devarim pshutim." The nigle, the overt meaning is simple. Ish ra ayin b'kili upachos, to a person who is stingy and miserly and degenerate. Kasher lo b'soch libo kish acherim mekablim hanamian. It's harsh for him in his heart when people receive hana from him. V'sha'ar chetiyub kamat v'chetiyub patach v'tamum milarav who aver mibinya hakal b'teles shamar gazar. Okay, all grammar people can feast on that. Who meaning omer? It is as if it's saying omer. Klomer afapi shu omer devarim shenira mehem shu rotze bakach. Even though he is saying things that would appear as though he desires you to eat, who mishar be'atmo hevach. He's telling himself the opposite. Okay, saying he's Omer La'atmo. His self-talk is different than his overt talk. Umash Yashar Be'atmo Hu Haimes. And that which he's talking to himself, that's the truth. Not what he's saying to you. So I think that's the same idea. He's just reading the pasuk differently. That due to the great shame that you have when you recognize his heart, you'll realize that all of the benefit that you receive from him has been transformed into bitterness. You have wasted your pleasant words that you honored him with your words for receiving this from him. Okay, so similar, to what we did. Okay, I want to do the derech nistar. Derech nistar, this is an interesting one. Kavnaso al hatalmid. Okay, this is about a student. Shalo yikba, meaning it's advice for the student. Shalo yikba yeshivaso lifnei chacham shetivo b'minias bar. That you should not establish your learning. This yeshiva is not yeshiva, but you're sitting and learning in front of a chacham whose nature is to be withholding. Okay, is to be stingy. Okay, nistar is withholding food, literally. Shelo rotze lahashpia michachmaso. As we learned in Monday Night Mishlei 2 weeks ago, is this pasuk. Yeah. Kihu yira'e atzmo. I don't know if it's yira'e or yira'e atzmo k'malamid lahoyel. He sees himself or acts as though he is someone who's teaching to benefit people. V'yamid, what? The stingy chacham.
This is the Rav.
The Rav, yeah, the Rav is thinks or like either acts or thinks that he is someone who's like this beneficial teacher. V'yamid mizeh kfi kocho, but he is trying to reduce and diminish the chachma he shares as much as possible. V'yastir ma sheroy lagaloso, he will conceal that which it is proper to reveal. V'kater b'meh sheroy laharich bo, he'll cut short something that is proper to elaborate on. V'yarich, and he'll elaborate on v'balvel ba'arichus, and he'll like cause confusion through his like lengthiness, b'mesher roy l'katzibro, on something that should have been concise. Hakol levalvel seder halibin. He's going to do this in order to sabotage the learning, okay? To confuse the order of learning. Kihu choshev shetachsar yediaso b'kach, because he's going to think that you will diminish his knowledge in this, o shetagadol yediasam alav, or that you're going to get greater knowledge. And then he'll be jealous of the people who get greater knowledge than him. This is what it means when it says your bread that you ate, you will vomit. You're going to need to vomit out all the stuff that you learned from this guy, because it's going to be like wasted learning. Because it's going to mess up your conduct. So let me give you an example of this. Okay. Unfortunately, I've heard so many cases of middle school, elementary, middle, and high school students who had great questions, whose teachers were afraid of the questions or thought that the student is somehow going to prove them wrong or somehow outsmart them, and they will shut down the students from asking or call them an apicorus or like make them feel guilty for asking, Similarly, I've heard this and had experience with, but like there are, it's not a secret that there are professors who are very, very egotistical, especially if research and prestige is involved. And they're fine to help you as long as it doesn't give you any prestige. And they will actually withhold things that could help advance your career because they view it as treading on their territory or as competing with them or threatening to like make a discovery before they do. So it's crazy. I mean, these are like, allegedly they're chachamim in the sense that they have knowledge, but you can have bad midos in chachma, you can be a stingy chacham who will sabotage his own students in order to prevent them from getting the best of them. You also see this with parents, right? That there are parents who they'll say that they want their kids to succeed, but they will resent it if their kids become more successful than they are, in any area. And so they'll withhold benefit. And you can't believe the fact, like, this is a teacher, he's supposed to help me. This is a parent, he's supposed to be supportive. You can't depend on that. Yeah. So I think it's like a really like scary idea. And again, this is a beautiful derech nistar derech, which is derech nistar like methodology. Like my whole approach in the derech nistar, it's taking the exact same idea and just applying it to the realm of development of the soul. Get another teacher.
And what if you can't? What if it's the only option? Just learn on your own? Like,
I mean, either learn on your own or
very, very careful.
Yeah, be careful with how you use this person. Like only take from them what you can be sure.
I feel like this also applies not just in learning, but like even in the business world.
Yeah, and the mentor, it could apply to a mentor.
They don't want you to succeed more than them.
Right, yeah.
In fact, like,
Yeah.
So,
Yoshua?
Yeah, it's a personal anecdote to the point you were talking about before with teachers.
Yeah.
There were several times in high school where I would ask questions about God.
Yeah.
And all my Rebbeim would say, these are the types of questions that make you off there, entertain them, and you just stop asking them.
Yeah. It's and I think in most cases it's that they're threatened. If they really cared about your learning, they would say, I can't answer the question, but here is someone who can help, or it's a good question, like it's but I think they tend to be threatened. Yeah. Okay, so that's a do we finish the Meiri? Is this the Meiri? No, that we did finish the Meiri. Okay, all right. Let's now you want to do the Ri Nachmias? See what he says? Ezra was asking about the Ri Nachmias. Let's just see what he says. Okay, I was saying the only reason I don't, so low down on the Ri Nachmias is he he is like a digest style commentary, so he'll often quote Rabbeinu Yonah verbatim, okay, without attributing it to him, because that wasn't the style back then, or he'll quote midrashim, and then sometimes he gives his own parish, and when it's his own parish, it's pretty good, and he is good at selecting interesting things. Is it on the next page? Ri Nachmias. Zion, yeah, I think you, okay. Ki kamo shar benafsho kenhu achol shesei yomar lach v'libo b'aimach tam sha'ar kamo mea sharim uvlashon razal lo kol hashiurim shavim. So yeah. Oh, you know that's interesting? I'm realizing now. We translate shiur as measurement. Shiur means estimation, he's saying. Which, you know, the whole like debate about whether or not what we do of like measuring out the exact things for the Torah shiurim, whether that's like actually warranted, like 28, grams is, whatever. Like, and the Torah gives measurements in terms of objects. Like it's a kazais, it's a kabeta. And so the question is like, are we doing the right thing by like measuring it with modern measurements? This would seem to indicate no, right? That really you're supposed to just do it at a glance. Like, yeah.
Isn't that kind of like what, like you're saying for like, but like with food, like that was how it was, and then the Chazal like said this is a kibetza, like this is a.
I mean, the question: when did this trend start? Right?
Yeah.
And I know people can make arguments that from the Rambam or whatever. That but I'm just saying in the debate there are definitely people who hold that this is what the Torah meant by the shiurim, that you're just supposed to estimate by looking. So I'm not denying that there are post-game who subsequently changed it, but yeah.
And I just want to say, the Gemara does not. The Gemara does not say what the shiurim is. It talks about. It says things that from which you could like derive a calculation, but like how much a person is able to swallow.
Let's table that discussion for now. Of inyan pasuk kizeh tsar ayin mishar umachashe benafsho sheim yikar lecha leechol milachma lo tovelo shehu rotze likro lecha k'vei shetachzik lo tovas chinam lo techo imo v'choshev ki kamo shar benafsho kenhu v'im ata tove lo liso imo sof shamar lecha panim za'ufos ad. So that I think that's the same thing so far. Let's just see what he says after that. Thank you. Pitcha achalta tekena v'shichat derech ha'neimim. Tekena shemachnis ba ayin ra, ayin hara v'shichat derech ha'neimim. Ima marta al hashulchan divrei Torah. Mirov tsarus eno b'mesh ata ochel lo yishma acha. Oh, that is elaborating on what Rabbeinu Yonah said. That not Rabbeinu Yonah made it seem like you're going to have an upset stomach, so you're not going to say it properly. He's saying this guy's not going to listen to your divrei Torah because he's so angry. V'nimtzeis ki'ilu ata meshchisim. It's like you're wasting them. Okay. Rashi's al pirish kmoshar benafsho me'inyan kit'enim hashuarim. So I think that means like disgusting figs. Okay. Shetamu hamarim. Okay, yeah, bitter figs. Sounds like a British expression. Bitter figs. It's as if this food is putting bile or bitterness into your soul. Shall ra ayin of the stingy person. Kenhu, that's how it is. Okay, I don't know what that is. V'yesh mefarshim ki kamo shar benafsho kenhu she'avapi shekar lecha lecho imo lo hechin ela kashir she'ochel hu atmo. So ki kamo shar benafsho kenhu, that as he measured out for himself, that's what this is. Right? Yesterday I was saying how really he is going to want to eat this like later on. So he really allotted a portion that really is for himself, not for you. He only measured out as much that he's going to eat. Eat and drink, he says, his heart is not with you. The sense of the pasuk is kikmoshar benafsho kenhu hamacha. As he measured for himself, that is what the food is. Okay. Achol ushasei yomar lach resh taf evil. Rosh Tevos evil. Rosh Tevos spells evil. That's funny. We don't usually see that style of parish. Ein ze rak siklus gedola v'ivelas atzuma. Right? When he tells you achol ushasei, then you should view that foolishness. Yeah, that's a good, like another Mishlei technique, right? Is associating to this idea that he's like, it's like a neon sign on his head that just says evil.
If someone says eat and drink.
Yeah, if it's a miser who says eat and drink, then you should be reading that as evil. Ukvar dabru bazeh beperak elo ne'amarim leganos midas tsari ha'ayin. So it says this in the Gemara about degrading people who are stingy. Lefish amar v'shichat derech ha'neimim amar b'samoch. Okay, and he's going to segue to the next pasuk. Okay, good. So we have 3 ideas total, right? We got Metzudas David, who says that you should not believe his offer, but believe his character, and don't even allow yourself to crave it. Don't get into this situation; it's going to end up being bad for you. You're going to incur hidden costs. He's going to resent you. You're going to ruin your derech Torah. Well, that's Rabbeinu Yonah. Okay, and so that's Metzudas David's idea. Rabbeinu Yonah's idea is be aware that he's going to project his own character onto you. Don't do the same to him. Okay, of projecting that he really is sincere in his offer. And then idea number 3 is the applying it to a rav, that if a rav or a mentor or a boss is stingy, then they're going to actually like obstruct your progress. And maybe even feed you faulty information that you're gonna have to regurgitate. So don't learn with such a person. And if you do learn with them, like do damage control. All right, nice pesukim. And look, it is very different. Now we see Shadal is right. This is a very different idea, other than the fact that like situation is not what it seems. You know, this is a very different idea from the ruler, right? Like it is, you know, different idea altogether. Okay, very good. I'm gonna stop this.